Hey everyone, my name's Zeeshan. I'm a software engineer and tech lead working in the video games industry. People often ask me about what tip I can give them to get stuff done, and I always point them towards journaling. I think journaling is the number one way to get things done in your life. It's the way to organize your thoughts and your life into one cohesive strategy. And I'm going to be talking to you about the five patterns that I use when journaling every single day. Let's get into it. So, firstly, let's talk about goal setting and tracking. If you have a huge, grandiose goal like I want to make $1,000 every single month online, or I want to work at Facebook, or something like that, it, it's a great goal to have, but you have to really think about the actions, the daily actions that you need to put in place to get to that end goal, right? So, if my goal is to get six pack abs, I have to work out 4 to 5 times a week. I have to eat healthy every single day. I need to drink at least half a gallon of water every day, and things like that. So I can create goals daily that reflect my long term goals, but break them down into actionable steps that I can take every single day. And that's one of the main reasons why I started journaling. So, my second pattern for journaling is self reflection. Value isn't created, it's discovered. You actually have to spend a lot of time thinking about what you value as a person, what's going on in your life, and what you want out of your life. Check out this awesome brain dump by Jordan Peterson.
See, what I learned from Jung, and this is probably the most profound thing I learned, I think, of all the things that I know, perhaps, is that values aren't created, they're discovered. And they're discovered through a consultation with the parts of yourself that you're not conscious of, that you're not fully conscious of, that aren't articulated, that aren't fully articulated elements of your primary personality. You have to discover what your values are. And you're informed about that, well, partly by other people who will object if your values aren't appropriate, but certainly by a dialogue with yourself and with your conscience. That's a very important thing to know. It's part of the reason why I think that you need to tell the truth, because you're forced to negotiate with yourself to operate properly in the world. And if you've warped yourself, let's say, or some elements of yourself by engaging in self-deception and lies, and you're not now, because of that, you're not who you could be, and you don't live in the world as you should live in it, then when you discuss with yourself what your value should be, it will be as if you're discussing it with someone that you can't trust. And that's not good. Like, you can't afford that. Life is difficult and it contains many pitfalls. And unless you're careful and you sort yourself out properly and you aim high and walk on the straight and narrow path, you don't have a hope of understanding where you should be and at what time when the crisis hits. And the crisis will hit. So you want to get all those little sub-personalities in line if you can.
So, as you can see, Jordan Peterson says when you self-reflect, you kind of force yourself to negotiate internally and think about what your values actually are, what you want out of life, what you want out of the goals that you're chasing. And this is so important when journaling, because you force yourself to think about this every single day. You're building a daily habit to think about what you want out of the life that you're building. So my third pattern of journaling is to actually build a habit. This is not something you just want to do once or twice a year, like, oh yeah, I want to do this goal and then I'll check back in like 6 to 8 months to see how I'm progressing. No. Grant Cardone says in the 10x rule that any goal that you only check on once or twice a year is not worth pursuing at all. You have to track your goal every single day, and you have to make sure that you're actually trending, you're actually making progress on that goal. And if you're not, why not? Maybe the goal is not ultimately worth pursuing, right? So Grant actually keeps a notebook next to his bed that he tracks his goals on every single day. Just like I check my journal every single night before going to bed. I'll take a look at it and check off, my progress for the day, reflect on how my day went, take some notes. And I think building this habit of reflecting and tracking your goals every single day is ultimately what leads to, completing the actual goal. So the next thing is to actually keep yourself accountable. At the end of the day, no one cares about the things that you're doing. No one cares as much about the things that you care about as yourself. If you're wanting to achieve certain things in life, if there are certain goals that you're tracking, you're ultimately the one that has to take ownership and take accountability to make that happen. If you're not getting six-pack abs, it's really no one's fault but your own. And if you are blaming other things that are going on in your life, if you're blaming other people, if you're not taking full ownership of that, that's kind of the root of the problem. You have to spearhead your path to success. So the final tip is the X effect. If you're not familiar with what the X effect is, you can always check it out on the X effect subreddit. The idea is basically to create a chain of boxes that align with certain goals. Let's say drinking, half a gallon of water every day. And then every day before, you go to bed, you take a look and see if you accomplished the goal. And if you did, you put a huge X through the box. And as you do that daily, you create a chain of X's, which ultimately helps you stay motivated to complete your goal, to get closer to actually accomplishing your goal. Every day that you put an X in there, if there's a day where you're not feeling it as much, you're kind of tired, you're not interested in actually completing the goal, you think back to that chain of X's and you remember, hey, I have to keep that chain going. And it's a really great hack to kind of keep yourself motivated and keep yourself pushing to complete the goal. All right, well, thanks so much for watching this video. I hope it was helpful to you in some way. If you enjoyed the video, please make sure to subscribe to the channel, check out my links on social media, follow me, reach out if you need anything, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.